Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen game version 4.1. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 minutes, definitely more and not less ship review. Right behind me, the Aegis Reclaimer. Let's go ahead and take a look. Before we get started, I just want to have a big thank you for Zero Grab for being my pilot in today's video. Alright, welcome back to another ship review. Today, a ship I haven't looked at in a very long time, and that is the one in front of you, the Aegis Reclaimer, a heavy salvage vessel, and this is game version 4.1, so I'll discuss the changes with that. Taking a look at this ship, before we do, I do have to say, the organization has been started, the Even Legion is here, and it is off to an amazing start. We are already at over 200 members, and it's been such fantastic fun. We got tons of already sessions in, gameplay, all sorts of great times, and we're going to have plenty more to come. So make sure you join today if you want to be a part of an organization. That is, if you want to be casual, great. If you don't want to be casual and you want to have a great time with PvP, PvE, mining, salvage, all that kind of stuff, join us today. It's going to be awesome. Now, with that, this ship here, the heavy salvager, the Aegis Reclaimer, it is $400 if you were to buy it on the pledge store, or $31,752,000 aUEC, and you can buy that in the city of Lorville. It's a pretty big price tag. 31 million is nothing to, look the other way over, right? But it is totally obtainable, and once you get that, this ship will print money no problem. Now, this ship is 120 meters in width, 160 meters in length, and 55 meters in height. And do not be fooled, this ship is massive. That is a very big ship, and when you land it pretty much next to anything, it makes those objects or ships look tiny. Now, this ship does have a 30-minute and 41-second claim time with a 10-minute and 13-second expedited claim time. So definitely not like super terrible given the size of the ship and what it can do for you. So right now, not a bad claim time at all. Now, if we're taking a look at what this ship can do for you, it is a salvager. You go out there and you salvage any size ship that you can dream of. Like on screen, we are salvaging a Polaris, no problem, and it does a great job at that, giving you a lot of material to go ahead and sail. Now, this pilot, do they have any access to weapons? Man, prior to 4.1, no. But with 4.1, they are starting to slave some of the turrets on these ships to the pilot, and this is one of those ships. Those two front remote turrets on the front of the ship can be slaved to the pilot now, which means you just get into the pilot seat, you can start shooting them right away, giving you a total of 1,040 damage per second due to the 4 size 3 CF337 Panthers. That is truly awesome. I'm happy to see that, and it just makes it a little bit easier for the pilot to not do too much because of the speed and maneuverability, which we'll talk about here in a second. But at least it's there. Maybe you can get lucky, right? Now, you do have a lot of other guns on this ship. This thing is just caked in all sorts of turrets, allowing you to hopefully protect yourself, starting with that one on the top, the 2 size 5 CF557 Galderines. Now, I probably pronounced that wrong. It's okay. They're just really big laser repeaters, and they can do a ton of damage. Leave them alone. The CFs are perfect. They have a great round speed, and they're going to do plenty of damage to any sort of PvP target. And you also have 4 remote turrets that give you 8 size 3 CF-337 Panthers altogether. It's just a fantastic amount of firepower on this ship, and it's unbelievable, honestly. But it's true, you have a phenomenal amount of turret firepower, giving you up to a little over 3,000 damage per second, which is just fantastic. And of course, I do recommend not touching these guns. The CFs are perfect for, PvE, PvP, and it'll do a great job protecting your boat if you have these turrets, occupied. Now, you also have 2 size 2 Baylor salvage heads on this ship because it is a salvage vessel. So it allows you to scrape the side of any hole out there, and then you're going to chomp it on up with the big old disintegrator on the front. Now, with that, those Baylor salvage heads do have trawler scrapers and ready grip tractor beams, so you can do a little bit of everything, right? It allows you to go ahead and scrape the whole side of an 890 jump and then crush that thing into nothing but dirt and dust. So you'll make quite a bit of money with this thing, especially if you go out there and you hit a ship that big, right? Now, let's talk about the defensive capability of this ship before we take a look at the interior. This ship has 1 size 4 shield generator, outputting a total of 165,000 quadrant shield. Not good. If you're comparing it to pretty much any other ship in this size, area, the range of this ship, kind of like an 890, kind of like a Polaris, kind of like a Carrack, right? You have a problem where this ship is lacking in its shield strength. And then if you take a look at the health pool, sitting at 123,002 ship HP, it is dramatically low compared to all these other ships. And that's not good, because when you start getting hit, remember, that's a quadrant shield. So you don't actually have 165,000 shield. You don't, especially with your maneuverability. You lose a shield face, which is only a quarter of, those 4 faces. You're going to have a problem and you're going to lose your HP pretty fast. So consider just getting out of dodge while you can, even if you have your guns occupied. Get out of there if you have the ability to. That's probably your best bet, especially since your top speed is 110 SCM with a 290 forward boost and a 100 backwards boost. That is not the greatest speed out there, and it's really just tragic. Because even compared to the Polaris or the 890 or any other big ship like this, this is pretty much the slowest. It is. I mean, even the Star Lancer got an upgrade, and so now it's not even going to compete with the speed of this ship, which is, good for the Star Lancer, not so good for this ship. Now, you do have a total of a 15-15-30 pitch, yaw, roll. Not good. Like I said, no maneuverability, no speed. You're lower on your quad, your shield and your health pool, so it's just kind of tragic. You got to be very careful about what's attacking you and how long you stay there while they do so. Now, when it's boosted, it is an 18-18-36, but it's still not enough to maneuver around to keep those shield faces from being, picked on only one at a time. So you do have, I'd say, a ton of fuel in this ship, though. So if you're not having a problem with any sort of pirates or anybody attacking you, then you are good to go for the long haul until you fill every inch of this ship up with cargo. That, like I'm saying, you have a lot of fuel. It is 1,754 SCU of hydrogen fuel, which is good. Not too big of a deal. Hydrogen fuel, whatever. But then you look at the quantum tank. You have 8.6 SCU of quantum fuel, which will last you a very long time until you're ready to head back and turn in all that cargo that you just, formed in some boxes. So that's a good amount of fuel. I love that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Before I do want to run up to this behemoth of a ship and show you where you're going to enter the ship from the ground. You have 2 ground entrances. You have one here right at the front next to the tractor arm. You head to the little blinking light on the ground, and then you should see the hovering text when you get close enough right there. Now, if you click that button, it will drop down. It only fits 1 person on there at a time. So you do that, you're pretty much just a pilot, right? Now, you do have another cargo access area, and this is like your main cargo elevator. So you would head back over here, and you're going to see another nice little flashy light on the ground. It's going to say elevator. Usually the lights here, don't see it, but this is where you would go to open up this cargo elevator. That is the 2 ground access points for the ship, and then you have a multitude of other access points for EVA or docking it on a station. Now, I'm going to grab this elevator and we're going to go to the first floor. I don't even think I really need to cut it at this point. Let's just go ahead and go 1 floor at a time and explain what you know, what each floor does. So we'll go ahead and jump on in here, and we'll make our way to the first floor, which would be your cargo hold. We'll go ahead and take that on up. This is it's not even as slow as the Polaris's elevator, so not too much of a concern. We're good to go. It's just kind of getting in here, and then it'll zip us on up, right? Oh, we're already here. Just turn around. This is the cargo room. This is the majority of where your cargo is going to sit, and you do have up to 420 in SCU on the cargo grid itself. Now, that's not what you're going to be putting in this ship. You can definitely fit a lot more in here, especially if you have an experienced crew. You can fit a ton of SCU in this ship, so nothing to worry about there. But this is a pretty decent little room. I'm going to be able to hold a little bit of stuff. It's just too bad if this door or elevator breaks, because then you lose everything, right? Now, let's go ahead and move to the next area, which is your salvage hold. Taking that on up, as you can see, the door is right there. It says salvage. This is where you're going to have maybe 1 or 2 members in a team standing, waiting for boxes to be flung at their face. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in just a second. When this door opens up, this is where you would hold even more of your cargo, but typically what's going to be happening is right above you, right there on that floor, is where they're going to be printing out all the stuff that you just salvaged, and you can throw it on down here. It's going to land here. You're going to take it, throw it on out there. Now, there's also a door back here that does open. If you were to use the open all command at the pilot seat, this would open at the rear, allowing you to drop cargo outside of this ship through this access point as well. Now we're going to take our way up to the next area, which is the salvage processing area. And that's where you're going to go ahead and take care of printing all your material that you just scraped off a ship or disintegrated from a ship. We'll go ahead and take it, you know, nice little slow elevator. It's still not as bad as the Polaris. I mean, come on, nothing is that bad. Now, when you get into this room, this is where you're going to be doing your printing. And you can hold even more cargo in here, stacking the boxes sky high, where all these inappropriate chains and everything are. We really got to get someone to clean all these up. But you can go ahead and head on over here and print yourself some boxes. Now, this whole thing holds a total of 240 SCU in the internal storage. So between the two, 240 SCU. Definitely not terrible. And then you can even craft. If you click this button here, you can make yourself necessary tools to move around, like the Pyro multi-tool, True Hold tractor beam attachment. Click, click, done. Go ahead and make what you need and get to work, right? But you will need the material already in here to make the item. So go scrape a ship for just a minute and you'll be good to go. Now, when you grab the boxes that do get pushed out and printed here, you're going to grab it and you can potentially just throw it on out here underneath, and somebody will grab it and take it to the cargo hold, or you can start stacking it at the front of the elevator here, allowing someone to just grab it, stack it on the elevator, take it down to the necessary areas. Now, the next and one of the next floors is the salvage like overlook area. That's all it is. It's just this big walkway that goes around this room. You know, if you have a commanding officer that just rather stand there and yell at you and not help out, this is exactly where they're going to do that. They'll just head over to that floor. If you go ahead and click here, you'll see it as the salvage balcony, a quite useless floor, honestly. But we'll go to the habitation deck. This is the next and final deck that I'm going to go ahead and show you. Make our way up here. And let's take a look. A very sudden stop on that elevator. Now, when we go through this floor here, you're going to see to the left and to the right, you do have what's considered a subdeck. This is your only access point for this subdeck, where a lot of your crucial systems will lie, which is very surprising, I will say, if I can get off the ladder there. It's very surprising. There's no elevator access. That is just it. You have the 2 ladders, and then here you go. You have a majority of your components, a good amount of your components in here, and then you have your nuclear reactor, or whatever style reactor this is, that would control the power to your ship. It is all right here. Now, that's just kind of interesting. If there's an emergency and you're down here, you're kind of doomed, honestly. So just count your days while you can. Go ahead and climb yourself back out of here if you can make it out of here. Now, once you're back to this floor, you will see right to your right and to your left, when you get off that elevator, is your 2 EVA access points. So you go ahead and open this door. You have some suit lockers here, and potentially in the future, you know, you're going to be able to have a weapons rack here and medical supplies, all sorts of different things. That'd be cool. And then here is your docking collar, so you can go ahead and open that up and leave the ship if you wanted to. Now, that is mirrored on each side, so don't need to show you the other one. We don't need to add another minute, right? Or should we? Nah. Now, if you head down this hallway, you're going to get a real Aliens vibe. You have blood, you have white padded walls. You got rust, blood, all sorts of different things. It's kind of interesting why the ship looks the way it does. It's probably not blood, right? You would hope it's not blood. Now, if you look to your right here, it says Captain's Quarters. That's exactly what it is. Very surprising. The lettering is at eye height and not on just the floor, which is fantastic. Now, we'll take a look. The Captain's Quarters is beautiful. Plenty of space to put your knickknacks. You got a nice screen here, another screen over there, another screen over here, and a nice little kitchen area that you can make yourself some drinking water, coffee. You got some milk, beans, dinner, snacks. It's just perfect. Perfect amount of stuff, and a good area to sit down and just enjoy your drink with a little bit of a view out the window. And some benches here, kind of nice. Interesting padding, once again. Now, if you make your way through here, you do have your beautiful bed and, nice little clothes storage area. Open this door, and you have yourself a bathroom. Ah, the bathroom. A place that seems to, eat you alive if you're not careful. So go ahead and make our way out of this area into the crew quarters. Again, nicely noted here. Now we're going to make our way. You'll see that you have a very dark lit room. You don't want your crew to have too much sanity, so you put them in a dark room. You have your crew lay down and enjoy their rest. Sooner or later, you'll have access to these. You have access to these now, but they don't really do much. And then if you go ahead and go over here, you can see there is no access points for any sort of storage up here. And then if you go here, you can open this, and there's your storage. Beautiful. Well done. Found it. You can go ahead and store what you need in those storage areas, and then make your way to a bathroom that is probably not clean at all and has needles on the floor. So watch where you step. I do like that mirror. Ain't that just funny looking? Now, if you take a look around, it's a kind of a scary place to be. I wouldn't want to live here. I wouldn't want to be on this ship for more than a day or two just doing your work. But otherwise, you do have your prison-style showers here, and then your prison-style toilets with very little to no privacy. So let's go ahead and make our way out of this room, and we'll make our way to the next area that the crew is going to go ahead and enjoy. Now, if we were to take a look over here to the left, as you can see, there is just like this little access point with a docking collar here. Not much you could do unless you're in some sort of no-grav EVA type situation, but then we'll make our way to where the crew will go ahead and eat their food. Now, as you can see, you do have a nice kitchen area. You can go ahead and make some food here, store what you need to store, and then you have yourself a nice eating area. Not going to look at whatever's going on there. Nice window. A very nice window and a nice eating area. You can take care of your food as well as prepping everything else you need to prep. And it's just fantastic. I swear the crew is just losing their mind one step at a time. No sleep. It'll do that to you. Nice little fire extinguisher hidden away here. I don't know what they're doing. We're going to make ourselves to the tech deck. Tech deck. All right, so you open up this door here. You're gonna have some more component access. Nothing as of right now. And then if you make your way to the other side, it's the escape pods. So this is where you're going to escape this ship. Good luck with that. If you can make it here, fantastic. And then if you look through this big, beautiful window, this is your drone room. So sooner or later, when drones are introduced to the game, you'll be able to operate them here, allowing you to go ahead and send out drones for scouting, for salvage help, work, all that kind of stuff. This is where you're going to operate this room. And you can even go ahead and go in here, take a look around. It's pretty neat. You can see where they're going to sit, where they're going to be, where they're going to launch. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to see this thing operational, just like with the drone room in the Carrack. It's going to be very exciting. Now, straight ahead, as you can see, turret access. You go up that ladder, takes you to that size 5 Galderine system. This right here is the bridge elevator. We'll go there in just a second. And over here is the gravity generator room, the ball of spinning fear, right? So this thing is something you don't want to put your hands near because you'll just get them ripped off. But it is fantastic, and they do have it blocked off accordingly. So this nice little ladder will take you down to the bridge area. So if the elevator fails, you at least have a ladder. So I do like that. Now we're going to go ahead and make our way over to the next area, which would be the actual bridge. And we'll take a look at the flight systems. This is where you're going to operate everything. The salvage head, the arm, the turrets, except for the manned turret, as they enjoy the nice bumpy ride down. Now, as you can see, this is your main computer system area. So if one very bad shot hits this area and puts a hole through the roof. You're all getting sucked out of here, and you lose all of your ship's defenses. You enter your remote turret here, you enter a scanning station there, and another remote turret here, and another scanning station. So you do have all your remote turrets tied to this center area, which is pretty surprising, kind of hazardous. And then through this door would be your elevator that would take a single person down out of the ship or back into the ship. And here is that ladder that brings you to this room if that elevator fails. Now, as you can see, this is the beautiful munching area where you're going to have maybe an engineering station, like an actual monitor and stuff sooner or later. I feel like this ship might be heading towards a, kind of a redo on the interior, because a lot of this isn't going to be what it is now that they have the disintegration beams. So that's kind of too bad. Now over here you can see you got more escape pods here, 1 and 2, for maybe some of these turret gunners and stuff. And then if you make your way through, you do have, of course, your operating seats for your salvage beams. So you got one over here, another one over there, and then this is your pilot's area with the co-pilot that's going to operate the munching arm, or the claw. Now, honestly, taking a look at this ship for me is a 74 out of 100, and I'm going to be honest with you, it is an amazing salvage vessel, but as it stands right now, there are quite a few areas that gets docked on its points. This ship has a 7 out of 10 for firepower. Prior, it didn't have any firepower for the pilot, so that was a 0, so it definitely improved there. And then you have a great amount of turret firepower, leaving you, looking good. I love that. The biggest hitting points with this ship is the shields, the HP, your speed, and your maneuverability, all dramatically worse than anything else around this size, and that's just really too bad. Even though it's a salvage ship, this thing has massive engines. I don't expect it to race around corners, but I expect it to move just a little bit quicker than it does, then have a lot more HP and shield than it does. So maybe one day when we get the armor system, this thing won't be as fragile as it may seem, but for now, this is what it is. Let me know what you think of the Aegis Reclaimer down in the comments below. I really would like to hear if you still have this ship and if you're using it, or if you prefer something like the Fortune or the Vulture. What do you pick for your salvage operations? Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.